Ladies and gentlemen, if you follow the chess world at all here in the later portion of 2022, you're probably aware of the cheating scandal between Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann and various cheating devices. Now, cheating in chess is obviously quite prevalent, as it is in probably other activities of life as well. And cheating online in particular is a little bit easier because you don't have that personal factor. You have all sorts of devices where you can relay better moves to yourself during the game. Now, there's a very high chance you get caught. I am currently making this video because yesterday a video came out on the Wired YouTube channel, 10 million subs. Very cool of them to feature me in a video. And it was all about how to spot a chess cheater. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 games that a subscriber sent to me where they played a cheater. And it's a fascinating story because first there was no cheating, then there was crazy amounts of cheating, and in the third game there was a mix, and you're just gonna see how obvious it is that this person is cheating. So go check out that Wired video. Also, but watch this one first, don't leave. Also in this video is the first video with piece sounds, okay? And we're gonna see how that goes. This is the first video on this channel where I've had sounds. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you like it. Let's jump into the games. 3 games, as I said. So the first game, my subscriber with the white pieces is playing a Vienna, okay? A true Gotham subscriber, not one of these fake jabronis playing the Scotch or whatever. And black plays b6. All right, already an indication that black has no idea what they're doing against the Vienna. Bishop c4. Now, just so you guys are aware, this person who is labeled cheater was already banned, so they are confirmed a cheater. A couple of things were suspicious about their account, which we'll get into a little bit later, but in terms of cheating, there's a lot of different red flags, like brand new account, massive win rate, consistent time spent per moves. That one is going to become quite obvious a little bit later. Anyway, for now, let's just focus on the chess. Notice how black doesn't even play bishop to b7, so this game, either no cheating at all or very, very poor spread out sporadic cheating. Takes on f4, and now we have e5, and the knight goes back to g8. And typical Vienna stuff here with knight f3. So this is essentially the Vienna gambit accepted. White now has 3 pieces out and now gets a 4th piece out, ready to go with bishop takes f4. Very, very poor play here from black. Completely no development at all. There's bishop b7, but now white can, of course, simply castle or play the move e6. And yeah, subscriber just gets a dominant position from the first, 8 moves. Just beautiful game. Totally winning from the opening. Nice little trick here as well to pin the pawn to the king. Not necessarily the best move, but... And then here, this is like already totally lost for black. Why is this totally lost? Well, at a very minimum, you can play queen takes f3, which attacks the rook. And if something like this, you can probably just get a checkmate somehow. Even bishop g5 is a crazy move because of this. You have queen f7. This position's +8. It's +8 from the opening because white is just going to castle and have every piece playing. Okay, but my subscriber takes with check, and the reason this is not the best move is because black could maybe trade the queens. Sometimes in chess, it's a little bit hard to convert such a dominant position. Even here, you could just back up. There is no need to do this, which actually is already a bit of a mistake. Pinning the knight to the king, because... there's various c6 moves that could happen in the future, like rook c8 and c6. But still, I mean, the position is very, very good. Now, here there's a... position is so good, actually, you can lose your bishop. You can lose your bishop and still be better. White is still winning despite losing a full piece because black has no development. Rook c6, and here I'm a little perplexed. I'm a little confused why... subscriber did not, rush in with this move, but instead they did this, d5, which is the best move, and then subscriber won a queen by smothering. I mean, you can tell black is not cheating. If you're not confused, if you are confused, remember what I said. In this game, cheater did not cheat. So some people think they're slick. They're like, I'm not going to cheat in some games, and clearly, as is evident from their own performance in this game, black is getting demolished, okay? Now, my subscriber thought it would be only fair to give a little bit back to the opponent here and blunder a queen. Game is still winning for white, but they do decide to blunder a queen with the move bishop to h6, which is a hilarious move. So the queen is now pinned. You cannot checkmate black because you are pinned. It's illegal to checkmate black here. But still, after take, and then this, white has an extra bishop and a pass pawn. So the Vienna worked great. Rook d8 is played. And then, you go here, suddenly f2, and here really weird stuff starts happening. So it's mate in 7 after d7. Like, white has just played a great game. Subscriber gets a great position from the opening, pushing, great job. And then here subscriber begins to kind of lose his mind. So he gives a check, and then he queens, and he gives this check, and it's like mate in 3. He's done everything. I mean, queen takes f6. It's mate in 2. He has mate in 2 on the board. Okay, he doesn't give the right check, but it doesn't matter. Now he has all sorts of mates, and at the very least, he can take the pawn with check, right? He could do that, take the pawn with check. All right, he gives this check, fine. All right, yeah, again, you take the pawn here, you give a check, or something. No, subscriber goes here. Good lord, what is he doing? He just allowed a queen check. This is what I'm saying. These dudes are 13, 1400. They are still capable of totally screwing everything up. Folks, do not make moves that are not checks in a position like this. Especially, you're gonna miss something. Like, how did you forget this pawn? Now suddenly the game is hardly over. Okay? Why is the king getting involved? What are you doing? I told you this was gonna be chaos. Now it's probably mate like 17 different ways. And white finds a nice tactic here, which is this. Loses the rook, but check and wins the rook back. And this is clean. Now what I would do here is find a way to trade the queen's queen back to h3, take the queen. You can't lose this. And white goes on to relatively convincingly win this game. You know, black resigned here. Okay, great. That's a fantastic win. Now, they rematched, which is probably the single biggest mistake that my subscriber could have made. They rematched, and the guy was like, oh yeah? You think you can beat me? All right. You think you can beat me? e4. Now, Gotham Sub is like a great sub because Gotham Sub also plays the Caro Kann. This game, the cheater activated the cheats, okay? In this game, the cheater played knight c3, d5. Now, I don't think white cheated until move 5 in this game. So I think white actually played on his own for a little bit. Like, this move, e takes d5, this is never going to be a recommended move, because if you're going to play the exchange Caro Kann, you oftentimes do not want the knight here, because the knight doesn't actually attack anything, because this is very well protected, and the knight plays no role in the game. So if you're going to take on d5 ever, oftentimes what will happen is you will play d4 and either use the c-pawn first, which is the Panov, or you will play the exchange variation of the Caro Kann like this, and this knight will go to d2. So the knight never goes to c3 in the exchange Caro. But I think white basically got this far and was like, okay, time to cheat. Bishop b5 check, that's not a crazy move, but that is Stockfish's top choice. Knight c6. And now a lot of things are tied in the opening for best move, like this, or this. So, you know, maybe even these moves were played on their own. But from this point forward, it was all white. So white played the move, again, not the craziest move, h3. Not the craziest move, okay? That move does not seal the deal. But this next move is kind of crazy. g4. That is the best move, according to Stockfish. Why would you do that? Like, just to explain, like, again, when you know a move is best, sometimes you'll justify. No. Any intermediate player here focuses on finishing their development. This is a crazy move. What is the idea here? The bishop is just going to go, and then what? Why are you pushing pawns where you castled? Well, that's because the computer kicks out the bishop, plays knight e5, and then glues the center shot, and white has a little bit of nagging pressure here, and then tries to even throw the f-pawn forward. Now, Gotham subscriber got a little bit scared by this move and sacrificed the knight. Okay, sacrificed the knight. And white played... What? Which is the best move. Just playing the move to take back is, you know, of course, natural. And at this point, white started spending about 5 to 8 seconds per move. So every single move white made was made between 5 and 8 seconds. Consistent move time, if you watch the Wired video, is like when you transfer the move to like your phone and then your phone tells you what to do and you go back. People don't realize that like consistent move timing is everything. Knight d4 is a ridiculous move. The idea is you have now added an attacker to the knight, which cannot move because you take the bishop. You cannot guard this because I take this. And now there is a new threat and this is a problem. So black is lost. Black plays queen c7. White takes, and now, well, that move, the slimmest of margins in chess. Here, white can play a lot of different moves, but this is the best one. Knight takes pawn. Again, you can argue that's not an impressive move. Fine. Queen d6, and now you can either defend the knight with the pawn, or you can defend the knight with the queen. Both are very good. Black castles queenside, and white finishes the game with a nasty, brutal, sacrificial ending. Like, there are two ways to win a game of chess when you have an advantage. Simplify everything and win a calm endgame, or absolutely brutalize your opponent and make them want to quit the game of chess. And in this position, white chose the latter by playing bishop takes c6, and then knight takes on c6. Brilliant move, received by chess.com for this. And the idea is that after queen takes c6, knight takes e7, which is a fork of the king and the queen, and it can be taken, but good thing the queen also attacks the queen. A discovered check, forcing the victory of a queen and forcing black to resign the game after just 14 moves. So, cheater really upped their game in this one, huh? Played like a flawless game, flawless from start to finish. Okay, well, maybe they just got lucky, right? So maybe there's gonna be a third game. Oh yes, oh, there absolutely will be a third game. Now, remember how 2 games ago, which were played about 20 minutes apart, black didn't know anything about the Vienna? Well, in this game, suddenly black knows everything about the Vienna. Now, folks, those of you watching this video, you know that when you play the Vienna with white, you do not face the main line, the best move, that often. You probably face it 2 out of every 10 games. Most people will play d6, knight c6, take on f4, or God knows what else. You only start facing this consistently at higher ratings. And even if you do face this move, nobody plays into the right stuff past move 5. Pawn takes on e5, knight takes on e4. Huh, and black is spending consistent time, 5 seconds, every single time. Gotham sub here plays the best move, queen to f3, a good, diligent Gotham subscriber who studies their course, right? Now, what do we know about this position? Knight takes c3 is the most popular move by far because knight is attacked, knight can take knight, boom. Even at my games. The 2 other moves that are popular here are knight c6 and f5. I face those about 35% of the time, 40% of the time. You probably face them about 10% of the time. Well, that's awfully strange that a person goes from being dead lost against the Vienna in 8 moves to knowing the main line immediately? Okay, fine. White, bishop b5, plays the main line. Best move. Okay. Knight takes c3, which is the best move. D takes c3, which is the best move. And now there's actually something very funny here. So if you let the engine run in this position, every move is tied. There is queen h4, which is considered the best move according to theory, bishop e7, but at a low depth, this move that I'm about to show you is also at the top. a6. I have never faced that move in my life, ever, because it doesn't make any progress for black. Like, I have seen queen h4, I've seen bishop c5, I've seen bishop e7, excuse me, can you guys go away? Thank you. I've seen bishop e7, I've seen bishop e6, I've seen every move in this position. Nobody's ever played this against me, like maybe once, because it doesn't make sense. The bishop went there to die anyway, so I just trade. But the computer for black is like, I have the bishops. The computer just wants the bishops. Now, this position is balanced. It's balanced, though, when the sides are of equal strength, not when one of them is a 1405 and the other one is rated 3700, which is what's happening in this game right now. So, white plays the move knight e2, which is a great move, developing the knight, preparing castling. Now, again, what should black do here? Black should obviously develop the bishops, right? Because you got to develop your bishop and castle. As a human, I would play the move bishop e7 in this position because queen to h4 check no longer does anything. It just doesn't do anything. There's no point playing queen h4. So black plays queen h4 instantly. Not instantly, between 5 to 8 seconds. And the idea of queen to h4 is not to play bishop to e7 and then castle. There's no threats. It's to trade the queens. Played between 5 to 8 seconds. White's like, I don't want to trade queens. I'm going to back up. Terrific. Now, black's offer to trade queens was denied. The following move that I am about to show you is absolutely scumbag computer stuff. it's minus 0.35, which is the top engine move. White's, the other options are minus 0.2 and minus 0.18. Those moves are bishop to e7 and retreating the queen to g6, which attacks the pawn on c2 in the future. Not right now, it's defended, etc. Instead of that, black plays queen to c. What? What does that even do? Now, if you look at the position long enough, you'll go, oh, it prevents white from castling. Yeah, let me tell you something right now, folks. If I gave this position to 100 players rated 1367, not one of them would play queen c4. Not one of them. You would play this, rook b8. Nobody plays this move. Just nobody plays this move. And so what does white do? White offers a queen trade now because white's like, well, that's kind of annoying. I can't castle. And by the way, you can't even kick out the queen because of this. So white should have really played bishop d2. But then the other idea, bishop c5 to attack the queen. Ridiculous. I mean, just completely ridiculous. So queen f4, queen trade. Now bishop c5 and both sides castle. Now from the opening, actually, black is only up minus 0.8. Black only has a slight advantage, okay? White plays b4, and now the advantage is double. Why? Because in chess, you very rarely want to play such an aggressive pawn move that doesn't have any long-term idea. The idea is me attack bishop. Black responds bishop e7 here, which is one of the best moves. Could be black just playing on their own. You don't need an engine to tell you to get out of the way. Yeah, but that's it. Pawns don't go backwards. Like, white's king was very safe here. You know, I would have focused on maybe rook e1, trading the bishop, trying to get my knight into the game somehow. But this is not an easy position because you're playing a cheater. b4, bishop e7, and now what? Go away. And now white plays this move, knight f5. Knight f5 is the full loss of a knight. And sometimes when you play against people who are cheating, you mess up your own kind of game because you blunder something. Well, black took this knight, obviously, and then black still kept going with the bad activity here by playing the best move, which is a5, not a crazy move. But suddenly everything changed. Right here, black decided, okay, I have built up a sizable advantage. I'm going to put away my cheats. So at this point, black stopped playing moves consistently, and black's level went from to, which is reverse. Watch. Pawn takes, rook b8, pawn takes c3 was the best move. Now, black's first move out of using a cheat, black hangs a bishop. So white played this move, defending the pawn and also attacking that one, kind of. And black was like, oh, I have to defend it. The first move out of cheating, black doesn't take the pawn with check. Black defends the pawn and loses the bishop back. Okay. So now the advantage is back to normal. Now black takes. Okay. And now, you know, newbies, intermediate players, what did they do? They see a check, they play a check. Natural. White at this point is just tilted, so he runs his king to the center of the board. He's like, this is ridiculous. Black plays the move c5 check. Okay. Black plays the move d4 check. Now what? Black is out of checks. Black doesn't know what to do, right? So black thinks, and what do people do when they don't know what to do? They just take stuff. Okay, you check and you take stuff. The advantage is almost gone because the pawns are very weak. Now, what do you do when you don't know what to do? You take stuff, you give checks, and you attack stuff. I don't know what to do. Me attack rook. So white just goes here. You have now made it much easier for white to win the pawn. So now the advantage is equal. Remember, all the cheats have been deactivated. Now, white plays a very natural move, rook c6. What do you do when you don't know what to do? f5 check. Forgetting that in this position, there is en passant. So now white is winning. Now, what do you do when you don't know what to do? You give a check. I don't know what black's actual strength is, but it's very funny. And then black is like, okay, now all these pawns are going to fall, right? And black has nothing. Black is just going to lose all their pawns. So black defends. White takes on c5. And this little sequence right here is the move of the, it's like the move of the game. Rook e5 check. You don't know what to do. You just give a check. So losing all his pawns. It's just... What? What? This dude just lost all his pieces. Check. Beautiful technique by white. Anchoring the pawn, right? Rook and pawn like this. Trade. Makes the queen, and this time we have no plot twists. We give a check. We hunt the king out into the open. It wasn't the best technique. Queen e7 is mate in one. But we go here, making sure it's not stalemate. G3, and queen takes h5. Checkmate. What a hilarious turn of events. In game one, black did not have any idea what to do against the Vienna and got obliterated. In game two, black, aka white, the cheater, played a flawless game, made 0 inaccuracies, played like an absolutely spectacular game of chess, start to finish, ended it with a beautiful tactic. The reason why black was not able to win this final game was because they didn't have a devastating attack on the king. And at some point they were like, I'm gonna get caught, so I gotta play on my own. And that was a very bad mistake by them. They should not have played on their own because they lost completely from start to finish. Like it was so bad. Anyway, folks, let me know if you like the sounds or not, and what should I do with the volume. Yeah, like, look, you're gonna get caught if you cheat. You can try to cheat in an intelligent way. This cheater actually had a very balanced win rate, so they were not winning and losing like a crazy disparity between the two. But their games were so obvious. Like they would cheat half the game, then play half the game on their own, then cheat again, and the move time was there, and it was just very funny. Moves like, you know, again, playing like queen h4, queen g4, like these very subtle moves, and then just losing all their pieces at the end. You know, the level is just... So that account was banned ultimately. It made for good content. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Get out of here.